Hey guys, my hair's straight. Hold on 2 seconds. My hair is straight this time, and this is gonna be a weird video because for one, Kazaria is in here. That's my girlfriend. For two, this isn't like for two. I'm by myself. Like for three, it's not gonna be like a prank or like a funny video. No, this is like a serious. It's not actually like serious anymore. Like it would have been serious at the time, but it's just like a very emotional, very like delicate, personal topic that I'm like, because a lot of people are curious about it. Like I posted this thing on my spam not too long ago, and then after that, like a lot of people have been not just when I posted that, but like before that, a lot of people are like, why are you like living with white people and like is that your house? Like da 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 da, and it's like where are your sisters? And there's like a lot of questions. So like I just want to clarify and like I kind of just like I don't know. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, and like why not just like say like something that a lot of people are curious about? Maybe it's like maybe it'll encourage them not to like put their kids in foster care when they get older and not to get pregnant. I don't know. But okay, so the story started like this. So originally I was born in Nicaragua, and my siblings and I don't have the same father when we were living in Nicaragua. My mom, I was like a year, and my sister was like less than a year. We're like exactly a year and 20 days apart. Um, so we were living in Nicaragua, and my mom decided to move. She decided to move to the U.S. Then when she moved to the U.S., she remarried and had two other kids with this Mexican guy. So basically, just picture this in the story. My mom moved to the U.S. Me and my brothers were still in Nicaragua. My grandmother unfortunately died when my mom was young, and my great grandmother was raising us, right? And keep in mind, my great grandmother could not walk, right? So my great grandmother could not walk. So so we were basically living with a disabled caregiver, I guess. I mean, that was like my mom, like her to death. She was like the only like mom figure I've ever had. Um, so and then like years passed by. You know, everything was fine. My great grandmother was alive. My mom finally decided she wanted to bring us here with her, and so she like got our papers done, and like um, so the year so May 15, 2011, we flew from Nicaragua to here. When we moved here, we first lived in Miami. It was a 305. What it do, baby? Okay, let's. So it was. We lived in Miami. Then we moved to Tampa. It was like. It was like. It was considered. It was like Houston. It was considered Tampa, but it was like a suburb, I guess, of Tampa. So we lived there, and my mom. How do I say this? She wasn't like I don't want to like get into details, but she just wasn't a good mom. Like she really wasn't. Um, she wasn't doing like the right things a mom would do. I mean, like they're right. It's right to do things to your kids to a certain extent, but like what she was doing wasn't right. And so my brother, but at first it wasn't happening to us. It wasn't happening to my sister. It was happening to just my brother, my older brother. And so then my older brother then started to like retaliate. Then we moved again to another part in Tampa, and like CPS got called on her. Um, Nothing major happened. Then we moved to Kentucky. CPS got called on her once again. Nothing happened. The system is broken. Then we moved to Tampa again. Like, no, it was like a place in Tampa, and this time she started to do as she did to my brother, to me and my sister, and so um, I'm a snitch. To us. Oh, wait, no, let me take that back. I didn't tell on her because it just I don't know, I was scared, I guess. And then to a certain point where I feel like it's to a certain point where somebody can do things to you where you should like just have enough of it. So I told I said in school, and plus like really like I didn't tell, like teachers saw, and it just happened. Then my mom was arrested. She wasn't really like tried or anything, they like she wasn't allowed to get near us for 30 days, and people that she knew, she made, so friends of her became our guardian. And like that doesn't make sense. Like CPS needs to think about it. Like, how are you gonna, like, it's their friend, so like so basically the same thing was happening, but by her friends. My mom came back 30 days later, and guess what? Me and my sister were put into a shelter where we were separated by ourselves for the whole summer of 2016. And like truly, really, like 2016 was like a good summer. Like even though we were apart from each other, there was like a summer where we lived a little. Like with my mom, we wouldn't be living, but like we lived, even though it was like at a shelter with people we didn't know. It was like homeless people and stuff. Like at least we were like being cared for, and like emotionally, physically, like everything. And then um okay, so and then like you can only be in this shelter for like 20, not 20, like 2 to 3 months. And 3 months was coming up, and at the deadline my mom had to pick us up. So mom picked us up, and like right after she picked us up from the shelter, like she was just so awful. She was like, da 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 da, like, I hope y'all learned y'all lesson. And like there was no lesson to be learned. Like, what? And like right from picking us up there, like we didn't even go back to like the home that we lived in. We moved to Texas. So we moved to Texas, and we lived in Wharton, Texas. So it's spelled Wharton. It's a very small town. It's like a really small town. Not a lot of people live there, and like there's a lot of Mexican and black people, and like that's where I fit in. Like, that's me. I mean, I look Mexican, but a lot of people say that I'm ghetto. I don't know. So, I was living there, and like I was always in trouble, and it wasn't because like, oh, like a lot of people, like, I'm a really smart person. I know people might not think that, because like I'm not very like common sense smart, but like I'm smart and book smart. Like, I'm smart. And so like I remember that week I had gotten in trouble. Like I had gotten in a fight or something, and so when I was in ISS once again. And so I was in ISS, and there was this teacher named Mr. Bangs, and like he was just that teacher. Like, he was a cool teacher. Like, even though you were in ISS, you were allowed to eat, talk, whatever. I was in ISS, and like I was in ISS so much. It wasn't even that I was in ISS so much, but um like one time turned into two, and two turned into three, and then like, or detention, or like just stuff like that. And like he would just see that things would change, and like my mom, how my mom was, he would pay attention. So, and then like eventually I opened up to him, and like I told him what was happening at home. And so um there was this one day that a lot of things happened, and that's another story. Like I'll tell y'all that story one day. But it was just one day that things happened. And so what happened was that I had like I forgot who it was. I feel like it was a principal. They were like, Daisy, because I talk a lot and I talk fast, and like they had asked me if I could do a UIL competition. It was impromptu speaking, and it was basically where they like you go and present your school, and they like ask you, like, they give you a prompt, and like it's like a writing prompt, but instead you have like certain minutes to talk about it, certain minutes to plan, and certain minutes to give your overall speech. um I came in second place. I didn't come in first, but you know what? I don't care. It's okay. I didn't take a L. I took a dub. um, what was I saying? Oh, so then that day I came home, and I was like, Mom, they like told me that like I should do this competition, and like they said that like I would be really good at it. And she was like, No, I don't think so. You're not smart enough. You can't do it. You're not gonna get anything out of it. You're not. So she was just awful. And so then, like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make her proud, and maybe things will change at home. And she didn't change her mind. Nope, she didn't change her mind. So therefore, that morning, I packed my bags. I took like a dress or something, and like I went to the UIL competition, and I went and I came back late, and then the librarian, like when we got back to the school after the competition, was like, do you have a way home? And I was like, no, I don't. Like I didn't. I didn't even tell my mom was going. I was just gonna walk home, and like it was far away, so she was like, I'll give you a ride, and I was like, no, I'm fine. So she insisted, she gave me a ride home. When we got to my house, we knocked on the door. We knocked on the door, and we tried and tried. No one answered. Then finally someone answered. It was my mom, and she just like dead looked at me in the face, and then like closed the door behind me, and she's like, you're not coming in. And so then she opened again, like maybe 10 minutes later. Me and the librarian were just like, what's wrong? I was like, I told her, I was like, I didn't tell her I was going. Like, I didn't. She said I couldn't go, so I just went anyway. So then the librarian was like, well, Daisy, I didn't think that was okay. And I was like, yeah, I should have told her. And then my mom came out, and she's like, I just called the cops on you because you ran away from home. In my head, I'm like, I didn't run away from home. I just didn't tell you I was going to go to a school event. So then she finally let me in. And like I don't want this video to be like, so like graphic and stuff, because I just feel like if it's like graphic, it's like, I don't know, I feel like people are gonna see me different, and like, I don't know. So my mom, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it, because it's, I don't know, it's just go along with it. So basically I got there, and like my mom, she was a very abusive person. She was a very most people said like she would be neglecting us, and like she was just a bad mom. It wasn't even that like giving your kids whooping is fine, like it's fine, like to a certain extent, but to my mom, like kicking them till they bleed type thing is not, like, that's not okay. Like, you know, like hitting them with a knife till their veins pop out, that's not okay. That's not okay whatsoever. So I'm just saying, doing things to your children when they misbehave is good. It's good to a certain extent. I mean, you're a parent, you should parent them. But like doing things that she was doing was not okay. Like not feeding us, and like not sleeping on a bed, like that's not okay. Like that's not what you do to a child. Like making them cook and them not eat, that's not okay. But that's another story. Right now we're just talking about how like this day went, like the reason why I'm in CPS. We'll get like into like other stories another day. But this day was because I tried to do something good to make her proud, and she I'm sorry I keep on playing with my hair because it's so short. And so that day, like that day is just like clear. Like she made me stand against a wall when she was cooking. Like my sister, my brother, and my stepdad, which wasn't really a stepdad. He like never said a word to me because he was ashamed that his wife had kids that weren't his. I mean, he's Mexican, and in the Mexican culture, it's not okay to like have kids. Like if you're like a Mexican, like you understand what I'm saying. I'm not Mexican, but like he was. So they were eating, and my sister was washing dishes. Keep in mind, everyone at the table is eating. That's the perfect little family. My stepdad and his kids, when my mom is cooking or eating, either way. We're not part of the family, so so we're not allowed to eat. We're either washing dishes or in our room minding our business. And when they're done eating, guess what we're gonna do? Clean the food. So, my mom, like, she doesn't say anything to me at first. And so then she asked my sister, she was like, did you know where she was going? And then my sister's like, no, but my sister did know, because that was my only friend. I mean, I'm gonna tell her. And she lied, and she was like, no, I didn't. And then mom like scares her, and then she finally ends up saying, yeah, I knew where she was going. So then my mom like proceeded to grabbing like the end of a knife. So like, sorry, I like to paint. So she like grabs the end of that's not good. So she like grabs the end of the knife, not like the skinny part, but like the hard part, and like jams it right here. My sister's vein pops out. It doesn't like pop out where she's bleeding. It pops out to where like you can like it sticks out. It sticked out of her. Like, so basically she got a lump, but the only thing that popped out was the vein. So my mom, my sister, my sister's there. Me and my sister, we were not allowed to cry. Crying was not an option. If not, it was gonna come back 10 times harder. And So my sister, so yeah, that was happening to my sister. So then my mom, like, she called me, and so like I don't want to talk about like the events that happened, because it's just like it's too hard to like go back to that. But like, just know that it wasn't something pretty. Like, my mom was like, she called my name, and like she made me stand in front of her, and like um my hands, and like I was not allowed to move while she was doing any of this. But my hands up covered my face. It wasn't allowed, or like fight back. It wasn't allowed. If I did that, just know it was gonna come back ten times harder. It was gonna happen to my sister, and I was not gonna let that happen. So by the end of the night, just like all that, like, y'all need to know that happened was that I ended up with a black eye and like bruises all over my body. Like, it was that bad. Um, so like, I know like y'all might want to know, but it's like it's kind of hard to talk about that because it's like a moment that I don't want to live again. Even though I remember it perfectly fine. So my mom, um, I'm just gonna say what happened. So my mom, she called my name, and she was like, da 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 da. Like, this was happening in front of my siblings, my seven, um, my 9 and 6 year old siblings. She was like, what'd you do? And I was like, I went to a competition because I thought it would make you happy. And she proceeded to grabbing my head, and jamming it like on the hard part of the of the kitchen counter, like, like right here, and that's your temple, and that hurts. And so then after that, like, like I wasn't feeling well, and then like all I remember is I ended up on the ground. I ended up on the ground with my siblings and my stepdad while my sister was washing dishes. My sister was not allowed to turn around, so she couldn't see. But my mom was kicking me. She was on top of me, like on top of my ribs, kicking me and spitting on me, and like just saying all these mean things, and like she's just so awful. And like, I don't even know how it happened, how she got to my face. Like, I don't. It's not even like. But she ended up like on top of me, like her body, like literally jumping on me. Um, then I guess after she was done, like, she was like, clean your blood up, and clean your blood up and pick up your hair, because when people pull on your hair, like, she like literally swung my head right and left. Like, she was like, pick up your stuff, and like, so I did, and I went to the restroom. I just cried, because like, that's embarrassing. Like, your siblings watch your mom like do this to you, like, and it's not that it was like a one time thing. No, it was like it became a thing. But like, your stepdad sit there and watch that and like not say anything, like not like stop or anything. It's just crazy to me how like a human being can do that. So and then I go into the room where me, my brother, and my sister shared. We shared a room with no beds, no blankets. It was me and my brother. We slept on the floor. Slept on the floor, and I just remember crying, just crying, because it was so hard. Then everyone went to bed, and mom was still awake, and she came into the room, did something some more. Then I went to the restroom, and like I had a black eye, and so then she calls me, and she's like, what happened to your eye? And she's like, you did that to yourself. I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, what do I look like hitting myself? Like, what do I look like hitting myself after? Like, it doesn't make sense. And then she did that some more. Humiliated me, be my sister some more. It was just a sad thing to like. It's just sad that it ever happened. Like, so that same night, I remember like her saying like, you're not going to school tomorrow. You're not going back to school ever. keep in mind, like, my face was messed up, like, bad, like, I had bruises all over my body. I just looked like awful, like, I just looked awful. So I had wrote a letter to Mr. Bangs, my teacher, my SS teacher, and I was like, if I don't make it back by Monday, just know something bad has happened. And mom, like, started, like, bagging my clothes up and putting it up, and, like, just, like, putting it in trash bag. Then she proceeded to throwing it away. So then she proceeded to throwing it away, and so then the next morning, she was like, "You're getting your stuff together." So she, like, grabbed all my things, and, like, by things I don't mean, like, my clothes or anything. Like, by that I mean, like, my legal papers, like, the things, because, I wasn't born here, but I am legal here. So like, I do have a residency, and not a green card. I have a residency. It's like the thing that, like, it says. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a green card is like you're here legally and you're, like, allowed to be here, you're allowed to work. I didn't have that. I had that plus the next thing that comes after this, like, you're allowed to stay here. And so I don't know. So then I had that. She started to grab all my papers, my birth certificate. She grabbed everything. So as she grabbed all of that, we got in the car, and the cops are going. So we get in the car, and, like, it was my brother was in the front seat. So we get in the car, and, like, she gives me these big glasses. So she gives me, like, I don't like a lot of glasses, but she gives me these big old glasses, some Gucci glasses. They're, like, big glasses, so it covers up the eye. And then she gave me this hat, because it was, like, that time of the year where it's, like, cold in Texas, it's, like, freezing, but it's, like, it doesn't look like it's freezing. So she gives me that. So she gives me that, and then she gives me this hat that, like, covers my head, and then, like, it has this thing, like, I don't know what it's called, but she gives me that. And so then we're walking out, and she gives me that, so we're walking out. Sorry. So we're walking out, and then, oh shoot. So we're walking out, and then, so we're in the car, and we're pulling out. So, like, we're on the main road where it's just like the main road of the little town. It's like the main road. So it's a main road, and the cops. So we're going, and, like, on the same road the cops are going. So my mom's, like, looking on the back mirror to see if they turn, like, on the street we live on, and they did. So it's like my mom, like, starts. Oh, that is disgusting. Mom starts to get suspicious, like, like, maybe they're going to our house. So, and then as she's getting suspicious, she turns around and goes to back to our house. She turns back to our house. So then we get there, and the cops are where we live. So, and then we get there, and so and then my mom gets down, and she says I'm not allowed to get down, so, I stay in the car. So I get down, and then she starts telling the cop what she wants the cop to know, So, and then the cop's there. So then I remember the cop, she had, like, this bright red, she was a woman. She had short hair, bright red lipstick, and, like, she was just really beautiful. Like, she was so pretty. She opens the door, and, like, she's like, take those off. So I take it off, and she goes, what happened to your eye? And I was like, listen to what came out of my mouth. I said, I punched myself in the eye. Like, who does that? Like, who has the opportunity to get out of this bad situation and lies? Like, what? So the cop was like, why'd you do that to yourself? I was like, I just wanted to, like, hurt myself. Like, that's all. I wanted to hurt myself. And she was like, why? Well, she was like, and then she was like, so what you're telling me is what you're going to tell the CPS office. I was like, yes, ma'am. So we drove to the CPS office, and we get there. It was, like, a brown building. Like, it was, like, lame. Like, a basic brown building. So we're there, and so then we wait, like, a couple hours, like 2, before they talk to us. And so then the person that saw us was Miss Katrina. Miss Katrina. I remember that one because she saved my life. Miss Katrina, Oh, so basically, like what you gotta get out of all of this is that my sister gave the letter to Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks called the cops, and now I'm in the CPS office. So Miss Katrina was like, introduce herself. I'm gonna be talking. So she like basic questions that they ask you in CPS. They're like, um, they actually like, what's your favorite food that your mom cooks at home? What happens when you like get in trouble at home? Like, you know, like what's your favorite memory with your parents? Like they just ask you basic questions to make sure that like nothing's happening. So, you know, I'm like, oh, I like meatballs, and, you know, I like when my mom does this. And I'm, like, lying. I've never had any of this with my mom. My mom's, like, a stranger to me. Like at home, I was, like, a maid. That's what I was. Like, believe it or not, like, I wasn't, like a, like, a daughter. Like, I was, like, legit their maid. Like, and, like, on Facebook, like, she'll post pictures to, like, she'll, like, oh, we're happy. Like, show the family that my family from Nicaragua that we're fine. But, like, in real life, it's not fine. Like in real life, it's like a big deal at home. And so we get there, and like I lied, and then she told my siblings what ought to say, like oh, Daisy got hit by a ball, just say that. And so then my siblings, they don't know, they're young, they didn't know what to say. So the my mom told them to say didn't come out how it should have, I guess. So then when my mom went, what I didn't know is that at the other side of the lobby, you could hear everything my mom was saying. So you could hear everything. You could hear like, they asked my mom what do you think? Why did you think Daisy did this? And my mom was like, oh, you know, Daisy, she be having sex, and she be running away, and she don't come home till 10, and she be stealing my credit. What? I was like, what? What? Like, I don't do anything. Like, I come home right after school. Like, I didn't have no friends. And, like, my mom's racist, so I wasn't allowed to have, like, black friends. But, like, that doesn't make sense to me. Because, like, who'd you have me with again? Oh, okay. So, it just doesn't make sense. Like, she didn't like me hanging around black people. And, like, she would just, like, talk so mean of them. And, like, yet to this day, like, I was on the phone with, like, her the other day. And, like, you know how I have a girlfriend. I mean, this is our channel. She was like, why did you let that touch you? And I was like, huh? I was like, for one, I was like, you have no say in my life anymore. Like, for one, you don't have no say in my life. And for two, Kazaria is wonderful. Like, she had the audacity to say something about Kazaria. Like, excuse me? So I got very upset when she brought Kazaria up. Because, like, you are nobody. You are nobody to say anything about my life anymore. Like, you don't have a say anymore. Like, it's that simple. Same night, so that night, like, we were there for a long time, and so, like, after my mom went, Miss Katrina Williams, that was her name, Miss Katrina called me again, and she was like, it's crazy, because this happens so much, and I've met so many, like CPS people, and, like, so many lawyers I've had, and, like, so many, like, people I've met, and, like, her name is stuck in me. Like, I know her name, like, cause she's, like, the person that, like, made it all happen. If it wasn't for her calling me again, I would have gone home, and who knows where I would have been. I would probably a drug addict, like, or a prostitution person, like, prostituting my body. Not that there's anything wrong with that for people that, like, get their life like that, but, like, you know, like, she called me in again, and, like, I, like, when I walked in the room, I was like, shh, they can hear everything we're saying. So then, like, she took me to this room. It was a two-way mirror, and I started to tell her, like, everything. Like, I was like, yeah, like, my mom, like, she told everybody what to say, and I'm lying. I didn't do this to myself. My mom did it. And I started to tell her. So one by one, she started to grab all my siblings back there, and, like, she, like, at first she was like, I just have to talk to the kids one last time, Leonie. And one was like, where's Daisy? And then Mr. Shimmer was like, Daisy's in the back talking. So, and then, like, we were there till probably, like, 10 before my mom left. So they started to get all my siblings, and they started to call, like, higher level people. And then my stepdad finally came. He got off work, and he came straight there. And he wasn't worried about us, honey. He was worried about his kids. I mean, those are his kids. So by the end of the night, just know my stepdad punched a cop. My mom fainted, quote unquote. Like, she does this all the time because she wants people to feel bad for her. Like, she's a psychopath. Oh, she is psycho. Like, she is psycho. Like we're not the same. Like, yeah, I'm psycho, but I'm psycho like fun psycho. Like, I'm always like, I just have a lot of energy. That's all. But she's like psycho. Like, she is crazy. Like, she has a way of like manipulating people into wanting people to think she's something she's not, or wanting people to like do things like that they don't want to do, but they end up doing them because she has a way of like forcing them. But it doesn't really seem like she's forcing them. Does that make sense? I don't know. She's just really good at manipulating people. So um then the police forced them to leave the campus. Now my biggest brother, he's like over age, and like they can't tell him what to do, so he didn't stay. He didn't vouch for us either. He didn't tell on my mom, even though my mom was doing the exact same thing to him. And so, and then like after that day, we spent my siblings and I spent, that's another story, but I'll give you like a brief thing. Like, my siblings ended up like all of us, we spent 2 months in a shelter for kids that like gone through a lot. Like, I don't want to like say too much because then I'll ruin another story time. But yeah, my siblings eventually went back to my mom because like honestly, like, she wasn't doing anything to them. But then now I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're still with her, or I don't know. Not that it doesn't, I just know that they're in a good place. Like, I'm not allowed to talk about what's happening with them, but like my sister is getting adopted by our first foster home ever. So my sister hasn't gone around like me. Like, I'm not the type of person to like take anything from anyone, no matter where I am. I feel like I've gone through a lot for people to do that. So my whole entire like existence in the CPS system, I've gone into 7 foster homes. That's a lot. That's a lot of house to house to house, and I've gone to a lot of high schools, and I've met so many great people. But like at the same time, I don't think it's good to keep moving. And like, fast forward in like a month, I'm going to be getting adopted on the 22nd, and on the 23rd, I'm going to be having my adoption party, and I'm I think I'm going to be okay. I think I have wonderful people in my life. I feel like I have great friends that I mean, if I would have never like moved and like gone through all of this, I feel like I would have never met the friends that I have now, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. Like, things may bother me like at the moment, but like in the long run, like, I feel like I've gone through a lot. And like, there's stuff that like even people watching this wouldn't like know because I didn't like say it a lot. But like, if I would have never like gone through all of this and gone into CPS and like just had so many like hard times, and I would have never met the people I know today. I would have never met my parents, my future parents. I would have never met my friends, like my friends that have become like family. I would have never met Kazaria. I would have never met I just would have never met a lot of people, and I wouldn't be like so blessed like I am today. Like, I know you guys might think like, oh, she's spoiled and no, there's something wrong with her, but no, like, for me to be here and like this has took a lot. This took a lot of people, a lot of like tough times, and a lot of people to think. And like, yeah, with that being said, I just want to say like, hold on, I'll be back. We're back. So with that being said, I just want to say don't take anything for granted, and love people close to you. Like, honestly, like, and like, if you're not in a good situation, then like, don't just like go along with it because it's just, like, no, do something about it. Like, leave it. Like, if you're not happy, like just leave whatever you're not happy about, because I assure you like that there's better things for you. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this story, and like, I'll do another story time another day, and like all the foster homes I've been to and like how it's been, and like, yeah, but bye.